Welcome to day 2 of Tinkercad skills. This is your first of 2 videos. In this first video, you're going to learn how to add a new work plane to your project, how to group and ungroup multiple objects, and how to make holes in solid objects. So let's hop right into Tinkercad. So imagine I wanted to make a house. This is sort of a good example here. And I want to take a roof and put it on top of my house. So the hard way of doing this is seeing, okay, this height is 28 millimeters. I could click on my roof. I could lift this up until the height is 28 millimeters. Now I can try and sort of line this up and kind of go like this. And there's my roof. So that's one way of doing that. The easier way of doing this, though, I'm going to delete my roof, is before I drag my roof onto the work plane, notice up here it says work plane, right? So if I click this and drag it, I can place this work plane on my object. So I can put it on the front, I can put it on the top, I can do the sides, you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to drag it here, and the work plane turns yellow. And notice now, if I kind of rotate a little bit, you see the work plane is now added to the top of this box shape. I can now take my roof, put it on, and it's now perfectly on top of that house. And there we go. There's my roof. Ta-da. When you're ready to change your work plane, you can just sort of click on work plane again and kind of just drag it off, and it goes back to the original work plane. All right. So again, you could do this if I wanted to put something in the front of the house. Again, I could take the work plane, drag it to the front, and whatever I put here, say I do a little box, that's going to be added right to the front of the house. Like say you want to add windows or a door, something like that. All right, so that's the first thing. There's your new work plane. Next up, let's remind myself here. Oh yes, grouping and ungrouping objects. So say I want to group these two things together, because right now they are not grouped together. They're two separate objects. If I click on the two of them, up here, this is my group, this is my ungroup. So if I group them, it now turns into one object. And you know it's one object because it turns the same color. And like before, you can change the color to whatever you want. You can also choose, now they have a grouping, you can choose multicolor, and it goes back to their original colors. All right, so those are now grouped together. If I want to ungroup them for any reason, I just click this icon, and now they're going to be ungrouped. And now they kind of move again as individual objects. All right, so again, you can group anything you want. I'll grab a sphere, I'll grab a little cylinder, and I'll just click on all of these, group them together, and there you go. Now it's just one object and moves around as one thing. All right, and group those. So next you want to learn how to make holes. So again, anything can be a hole. So imagine I want to add a window to this home. All right, so let's use my work plane, put it here. I'm going to drag a whole box, and I'm going to make this a lot smaller, really small windows. All right, so now I will take this and kind of move it into my home. So I'll get rid of this work plane. I'm going to kind of move it inside the house. All right, so I'm moving it in this direction. And what I can do now is if I, like right now there's no hole, it's just like a hole shape. But if I click on this little hole and I click on the house, once I group them together, it's now going to actually cut out that hole. All right, so again, any of these things can be made holes. I can take a cylinder, turn that into a hole, can move it like this. Click on my house, group them together, and now it's going to sort of cut out that shape. All right, so in order to cut shapes out, you need to sort of group a hole with a solid object, and that's how you do that. And then if you want to undo it, as simple as, ungrouping it, you can sort of delete that. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you.